In 2014, a national football icon was gunned down in a house full of witnesses, and yet, the truth is only beginning to surface now. Today, we unravel the chilling web of secrets, betrayals, and revelations, some bitterly exposed by outspoken poet Ntsiki Mazwai, that suggest Kelly Khumalo may know far more than she's ever admitted. If you were in a room where someone was murdered, would you speak out, no matter the cost? Drop your answer below, and brace yourself for the truth most fear to say aloud. An ordinary night at Kelly Khumalo's Vosloorus home ended with Senzo Meyiwa's murder. A football star shot dead in front of 7 people, none of whom could remember the killer's face. When silence speaks louder than gunfire, suspicion fills the void. Every cover-up begins with confusion, and this one's textbook. The contradictions that followed laid the foundation for a decade-long national wound. Ntsiki Mazwai isn't known for silence, and in a bombshell thread, she openly accused Kelly of complicity in Senzo's death. This wasn't gossip, it was a moral indictment from one artist to another. Truth isn't always polite, and Ntsiki didn't bother dressing hers up. She framed Kelly not just as a witness, but as a liability. Initially, the incident was painted as a robbery gone wrong, but no valuables were taken, and the entry wound didn't match the tale. Forensic inconsistencies kept poking holes in the story everyone was told to believe. 2 facts, 1 question, no motive, no theft, so what happened? The more you examine the break-in, the more it looks like a breakdown of truth. Cell phone data later revealed unexpected calls and locations, raising eyebrows and implicating more than one person present that night. Why were some phones suddenly off-grid, and others unusually active? Digital footprints don't lie, but people do. In a tech-savvy world, every lie has a data trail. Senzo was shot at close range, but the murder weapon mysteriously vanished. Later, a gun linked to a hitman ring was quietly tested, and quietly shelved. This wasn't incompetence. It was suppression. 1 gun. 2 stories. 0 justice. The ballistics puzzle points toward an inside job. Kelly Khumalo's public statements changed over time, first emotional, then defensive, then oddly rehearsed. What begins as grief can sometimes morph into fear or guilt. Every version of her story contradicts the last. That's no accident. She's performed on stages, but this act's harder to believe. Allegedly, Kelly made a phone call immediately after the shooting, before even the ambulance was contacted. The question isn't just what she said, but to whom? In crisis, instinct reveals truth. She called protection, not help. It wasn't a random impulse. It was strategy. Mazwai demanded that Kelly stop hiding behind celebrity and speak the raw truth about what happened that night. Public figures aren't exempt from public accountability. One voice can ignite an entire investigation. Ntsiki's words echo what many feel, but fear to say aloud. Senzo's family has spent over a decade battling misinformation, political interference, and emotional exhaustion. They've buried a son, fought a system, and still await closure. No family deserves silence instead of justice. In grief, they found purpose, but never peace. 7 people. 1 murder. 0 clear testimonies. A locked room mystery, with everyone conveniently blind. The silence wasn't coincidence. It was coordination. Truth dies when fear becomes a group project. Multiple people associated with the case reported receiving threats, some subtle, others overt. Fear has become the invisible hand guiding this case. Justice can't thrive in intimidation's shadow. When witnesses fear for their lives, the truth dies a slow death. A second, unofficial autopsy reportedly challenged the initial cause of death ruling, suggesting inconsistencies in bullet trajectory and wound location. When medicine contradicts the police report, suspicion doubles. Science doesn't play politics. Evidence speaks. If true, this changes everything. The South African entertainment industry, often vocal about injustice, has remained largely silent on Senzo's murder. Why the hush when the victim was so beloved? Loyalty or fear? Maybe both. In silence, complicity sometimes hides its face. New documentaries and exposés have thrust the case back into public discourse, triggering renewed calls for accountability. What courts ignore, media revives. Truth is hard to bury in the digital age. This time, the story isn't going away quietly. Despite the allegations, Kelly's career not only survived, it thrived. Publicity, even the darkest kind, became momentum. Pain turned into platform. Tragedy into traction. But attention isn't always applause. If you believe the truth must rise, no matter who it exposes, hit that like button, share this with someone still in the dark, and let's bring justice into the light. Trial dates were set, postponed, and shuffled endlessly, often due to missing evidence or unprepared witnesses. Justice delayed feels like justice denied. The longer it drags, the colder the case. Delay is a defense, disguised as disorder. For speaking up, Mazwai has faced backlash, threats, and character attacks. Truth-telling in South Africa isn't always rewarded. Courage has a cost, and she's paid it. When silence is safe, speech becomes rebellion. If Kelly came forward with everything she knows, the dominoes would fall, fast. Political names, industry ties, and law enforcement complicity could all surface. Secrets don't stay buried forever. The final truth could shake the nation. Senzo Meyiwa's legacy isn't just his football stats, it's the fight for truth in a system built on silence. As long as voices like Ntsiki Mazwai's refuse to be silenced, there's still hope that justice might finally speak louder than fame, fear, or lies. It was supposed to be just another relaxed evening, until gunfire shattered everything. On October 26, 2014, South Africa's beloved soccer captain, Senzo Meyiwa, was gunned down inside singer Kelly Khumalo's Vosloorus home. There were 7 adults in that house, all claiming to have seen nothing useful, no face, no motive, no clarity. When everyone's memory suddenly evaporates, suspicion takes its place. A national hero died in front of witnesses, and yet, the truth has remained more elusive than ever. Outspoken poet Ntsiki Mazwai didn't whisper, she detonated. In a series of blunt social media posts and interviews, Mazwai publicly accused Kelly Khumalo of knowing exactly what happened to Senzo Meyiwa that night. She didn't mince words, calling out Kelly not just as a possible witness but as someone entangled in a moral web of guilt and secrets. When you've got nothing to hide, you don't dance around the truth, Ntsiki snapped. Her words split public opinion, but forced a long-avoided question into the spotlight. Is Kelly hiding behind fame? The official story crumbled almost immediately. Authorities claimed it was a home invasion, armed robbers breaking in and demanding valuables. But something didn't add up. Nothing was stolen. Phones, jewelry, even wallets remained untouched. Ballistic experts later noted that the angle of the shot didn't match the struggle described by the witnesses. 2 facts, 1 truth. No motive, no loot, just bloodshed. It was less a robbery, and more a performance for the police. In a digital age, phones rarely keep secrets. Cell phone tower data later revealed strange anomalies. Certain phones in the house went offline after the incident, while others pinged unusual locations before and after the murder. And Kelly? Her phone history.